there is the devil and there are people who cooperate with him. And if there is even a notion that you could be a Christian, they will make your life a living hell. And I don't know if that happens to everybody. I suspect it doesn't. But there are certainly those that Satan puts an arrow on your back or your family's back or your whatever. And it's called a spiritual battle for a reason. So I don't want to go off a whole bunch in that. And there's something to be said for proper time, proper place, proper conversation, so on and so forth. But I'm talking about when you have a platform and you use it, Satan will torture you because he wants to stomp out the voice of the enemy from messing with his kingdom. And he has an advancing kingdom of darkness. And let's go back to this so you can play it, so you can hear this advancing kingdom of darkness. And hopefully they will stop with yelling. That's not of the fruit of the spirit of self-control.
Legions of legions of legions.
Легионы, легионы, легионы твоих ангелов.
Now.
Сейчас. Ахшав.
Kol ha-malachim me'al Ukraina.
Huh. That's creepy. So they got all these Ukrainians, I guess. I don't know if he has a link. See, Israel and unbelief is not the victim, I'm telling you. Israel and unbelief is bringing this into being with these other change agents, okay? That's what we're talking about. And they are trying to whip these people into a frenzy through their flesh. Because, you know, the Lord is going to accomplish so much through your flesh. Oh, no, wait, that's not in the Bible. He's going to accomplish things through the Holy Spirit, who's sovereign and a person, by the way, and a creator and part of the Godhead. And to be begging and calling on these demonic entities is very dangerous.
All of the angels over Ukraine.
О, ангелы твои, Господь, над Украиной.
Moksha.
Сейчас, Господь, сейчас ангелы твои спускаются.
This is honestly really hard to watch. This is really difficult. I see all their little hands raised. See, these people on some level may think that they are crying out praise to Yahweh and deception, or some of them might not really care, honestly, to tell you the truth. And you have these people in these body postures. This is killing me. You have these people in these body postures that, in my humble opinion, should be reserved for Yahweh and Yahweh alone. I would never get on my knees and call upon God's angels. And they're whipping these people into this type of thing. And you've got Heidi Baker, too. See, this is all monkey see, monkey do with your mirror neurons. You do it, too. And this is on the internet. And I don't know on the original video how many hits this got. This one has 729. And I don't know how long he's been around. But this is hard to take because this is witchcraft, is what it is. It's demonic.
К Украине. Сейчас, Господь, сейчас, Господь. Сейчас. Прямо сейчас. Для народа Украины, для страны Украины мы провозглашаем Божью полноту, ибо это то самое время, это то самое время. Сейчас. Для Украины.
fire, fire, holy fire, holy fire, holy fire. Holy, holy, holy fire. Holy fire, holy fire. Pray for holy fire. Pray for the holy fire.
Мы молимся о святом огне.
Pray for the holy fire of God.
Мы молимся о святом огне Божьем.
Pray for the holy fire of God.
Мы молимся о святом огне
Fall
Божьем,
upon the nations.
чтобы Он зашел на
Come on,
народы.
let's pray, 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 pray.
Мы молимся, Отец, мы молимся.
More covenant keeping.
Еще, Господь, еще.
Covenant making, covenant keeping God.
Бог, который Бог завета, Бог, который сдерживает,
Covenant making
Бог,
God.
который сдерживает свои обещания, Бог, который верен своему завету, Бог, который верен своим словам. Еще, Отец.
Covenant keeping.
Бог завета, Бог
Covenant keeping,
завета,
covenant
Бог
making God.
завета, Бог
Covenant
завета,
keeping,
Бог
covenant making
завета,
God.
Бог
Covenant
завета,
keeping, covenant making
Бог
God.
завета.
Fall on your children, God.
Сойди на детей Твоих,
Fall with your
сойди,
glory,
Господь,
Lord.
сойди с Твоей славой.
Whew. And much more could be said. There are far more connections. There is an intentional NAR cross-cultural network of the tentacles of evil yoking with Israel. And honestly, I'm telling you, getting the world ready for their coming Antichrist. That is what is going on. I can't believe they had the audacity to use that shofar. That, I don't know if you read what I was doing there, but that shofar is like his thing, God's thing, Yahweh's thing. Jesus is a Jew. Trumpets were blown on the day that Christ came down to us in the form of the human birth, God omnipotent, that Isaiah spoke of. It was 9/11/3 BC. We know for a fact. And there were trumpets being blown on that day, which you blow for many reasons. One is because the king has come and the king was born. I want to click on this. That's not it. Okay, let's hit subscribe. Oh, what? I guess I'm already subscribed. Okay, this is the video. We'll do another video showing you this and then commentary. But this is where you have, this is what I've been talking about and leading up to. This is the Che On guy that is a major big deal. And now they've got Kanye, which is huge because Kanye is a Mason Luciferian fake Christian. And these are these people in Israel. And this video is very eye-opening. We'll just say that. And then you just have to know basically that Che-On is a huge, seemingly innocent-looking player in this whole deception, I guess is a really good way to put it. Now, I think this was the video we may have looked at, that guy only put just a tiny little splice. I can't imagine why. That was so easy to take. It was so easy, right? Right. This Asher guy, I have done some research on him. I'm so pleased that Fighting for the Faith has done some videos. I will probably take a look at those. I might even fuse those together in a future video. You know, I can only take just so much of this, but this is the thing though, is that people are not hearing about this, not aware of it. They don't know the connections between these things. They don't see where it's going. They don't see how the Bible was warning you about this. These people are deceptive and evil, tricksters. It all comes down to this whole tikkun olam. They're telling you that the mankind is going to get together in unity and become gods essentially through the technology, all the stuff that I've already explained, but they're doing it in the name of Yeshua. And they're going to have a Yeshua, but it's not going to be the one in the Bible, which is why the Bible told you for thousands of years, gave you lots of warnings about this coming period of time. And this is exactly why these evil, turncoat, horrible, awful deceivers who are deceived and deceiving many, who are prophesied, and they're here right on time, check, right on time, to propagate this evil the Bible warned you about. Do you see this? Is this insane or what? So this is the video that Sean pulled, and there is so much more to know about this and to connect these conferences together and to understand the drive, the goal between all of these Masons and this fake Babylonian horror that is going to sadly be judged significantly. This whole global rebellion. So I do thank you for watching. I always want to make sure and tell you that. And if you stuck with me to the end, I really appreciate it. And go give these guys some love. I don't know if they let you leave comments. So this video, okay. So this one had 467. Did they let you leave anything? Oh, they do. Oh, yay. Are people getting this at all? What? Let's read this. And to think that Revive Israel has now joined up with the Dutch organization, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Tikva? What's a tikva? Pachat? Tikva? So the misleading foul soil in the Netherlands. I am pretty sure that is a broken, anyhow, doesn't matter. Many Dutch Christians think that anything messianic from Israel is good. Oh, that's what we're all being led to believe. What say you? You are correct. This is a very serious problem. Many believers outside of Israel don't have a clue what's going on here doctrinally. They automatically think that because this is a Jew saying this, we are Israeli believers, we have it all together. And in fact, we have just as much rampant heresy here as in the West, if not more, because we are a primary target. You need to hear this. We are a primary target for spiritual deception. Of course, there are a lot of NAR followers in the West who give into the NAR ministries here, and you keep it financed. If you'd stop paying, they would go away. But people keep paying for it. And that's one thing, but there are also genuine, sincere believers who are, yes, bamboozled into donating to the bad and heretical ministries because they don't know the background and what they are teaching in Hebrew or whom they are connected with. So very many high-profile Israeli leaders, listen now, listen, please, who are well-known internationally and may present themselves as the face of the body here, are NAR. And there are many ministries and congregations over here who are NAR connected and affiliated. And it behooves every believer to do thorough homework before donating. We would plead with the Israeli loving believers, please don't give without exercising discernment, because otherwise you may actually be inadvertently helping to propagate dangerous and destructive false teachings, which are hurting the body here. Christ's bride. Hello. And if you are not sure about a ministry or congregation that you want to support and want to find out more about, please contact us. And though we don't know everything, we will help if we can. That's just straight out wisdom right there. I'll just tell you that right there. I think that this is Pastor Michael. Now, ironically, and we'll wrap up here in just a second, but ironically, where I saw this pastor, bilingual pastor in Israel, who is hardcore Jesus, Yeshua, was through Behold Israel, which has Amir Sarfati. And Amir Sarfati is a whole host of problems in and of his own thing that I don't have time to get into now with Jacob Prash, which is another whole big mess I don't have time to get into now, but I have videos on Prash and the weird things that he's been saying, calling Jesus Metatron of Kabbalah. Not. But anyhow, this is how I found out about this 40-minute video. And it says, welcome to Narwatch Israel YouTube channel. We are an association of believers from various backgrounds united by a love of sound doctrine. Thank you. And who cooperate to document, inform, and bring light to the false teachings, false apostles, pseudo-prophets from unscriptural practices, and, to be frank, rank heresy of the New Apostolic Reformation and hyper-charismania, now rampant in the professing body here in Israel. Thank you, for the infection has spread. Didn't Jesus say that? That a little bit of leaven would just leaven that whole lump and just go through the whole thing. That's what's happening. So they have a blog here and an English one. Yay, they have an English one. Now, is this on YouTube or is this on the internet? I don't know. And in my playlist somewhere, I actually have I have the video where, there you go. I have the video where this pastor, I'm almost certain his name was Michael, but I forget his last name because it's Hebrew, was talking to Amir Sarfati and bringing up this whole litany of points. But it was weird when they were teaching about NAR because everything they said was good and true and honest and valid. But it was weird because then at the end, Amir was all being weird, like, but we can't name any names. And so I actually went to go look for this pastor, and he, ironically, was on a blog with Jacob Prash's ministry, which Jacob Prash is a whole nother ball of wax of trouble that I don't have time to get into now. And it's just so much confusion. That's of the devil. But I went and looked at the 44-minute video that I pointed out to you earlier, that I pointed out this channel to you. And he actually goes in and shows you and he shows you that relationship of him and Nar and this Tikkun Olam. And I already knew about Tikkun Olam International and Asher and some other people and other organizations. So again, think 1,000 points of light. So I had already done some investigation on this only because the Holy Spirit had brought it to my attention and because there was a weird video on YouTube where I just had a weird feeling like it was all pro-Israel, but I was like, but are you really? Are you really pro-Jesus? Are you pro-Israel? So I went to look at it and I did some investigation and I found out that it was all this Tikkun Olam, and that's Kabbalah. That's Kabbalah. You need to understand that. These people do not have your best interests in heart. So anyhow, I say all that to say this so that you will have this. In fact, let's grab this link while we're at it here. So it's narwatchisrael.info. Okay. And so the last time they put something on here was summer, or wait a minute, 2020, 6/1/21. Okay, so something there doesn't make sense with that, but let's just read this. Here's some of our local Israeli NAR leaders, Avi, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Apostle. Yeah, see, they have see, I'm telling you, they have taken over the apostleship that died with the last apostle, John. And they say that they're the new authority. You need to listen to your leaders. That's what we had a change agent come into our church and say, you need to listen to your leaders. Asher and Traitor at the recent MEHR 2020 Colors of Hope conference, which took place in Germany. Okay, so see, cross-continental. They're getting it all hooked up. Okay, they're getting it all hooked up for their best man. Yay. They're getting it ready for the Antichrist. You don't do these things and this money and expansion and effort and all this without a goal. People don't do things unless there's a goal at the end of it, right? So you have just been fed a line for so long that Jesus is coming, 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 the Antichrist is coming, blah, 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 for so long that it's kind of worn people down. And now there is no urgency. Urgency has been murdered. Yeah, urgency, logic, truth, value to a biblical warning. Urgency has been, they have sliced her throat. You understand what I'm saying? And they have replaced it with this. And the reason why is because they are getting you prepared for their Mashiach. And Jesus would tell you from his scriptures, he's going to hail from the desert. He's going to be an imposter. He's going to say he's me, but do not believe him. And he's going to say that the Messiah is in the inner chambers. What does that mean? In your temple. What does that mean? The same thing that Michael Heiser and many others, entire branches of aberrant, weird breakoffs from the Catholic Church, the Greek Orthodox Church, and other Orthodox churches, they believe that at the end of glorification is deification. No, that is not true. But it's all of this soft push that's getting stronger, okay? To get you to believe the goal in Jesus and why he came and died and Yeshua is to make you gods and to bring us all into one, unite us into one, repair the earth, get the kingdom now, which is why you have NAR and you have Israel and you have the coexist movement bringing all the false religions together, and a special emphasis right now on the pagans. So the earth worshipers, and then we did 2 videos on Awaken 2020 and how that is also, and then I told you too that Shaking My Head Productions did like a 20-minute-ish video on Awaken, and you should really, really go watch that. I'll try to remember to put a link down here if I can, but it's Shaking My Head Productions, and and he put it on BitChute too. And they have one of their conferences. I honestly, I don't know if it was the call or the send or what it was. I don't know. I mean, there's so many conferences, it's hard to keep it clear. But it was, I think, in 2016, Shaking My Head Productions NAR video, or Awaken 2020 video, which has NAR people in it. Scratch that. The 2016 video, I'm sorry, I don't mean to confuse you. Here, let's go there because I'm super, 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 super visual. So let's just go there so you know what I'm talking about. They had this whole thing predicated to the Indians. Hold on, you'll know what I'm saying. If I can't find it right away, we'll just move on. But there is no shortage of insanity from the 1,000 Points of Light. Okay. And so even in 2016, when they did this conference and they were really focusing on the paganism, they had the tribal drums going and they were bringing the Native Americans into it, but saying that it was Yahweh. That's all part of that. Poor little animals. It was all, my daughter was watching stupid stuff. Here we go. It's right here. It was all part of this ecumenicism from hell.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright sunshiny day.
I love that. And then just a little teaser for you. I kind of want to show you If I can get to it quick enough, the Indian stuff.
What's the craziest? To listen to an atheist.
Listen to an atheist. Well, thank you, Kanye. You're really leading those people straight to Jesus. Oh, no, wait, no, you're not. You're totally leading those people to the Antichrist. And now you're just their really, really, really big, powerful tool. And as I count this, I was just curious about counting this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It really depends on how you want to count this, I suppose, too. I don't know if you would put that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I don't know. One time when I counted it, I thought I could come up with 7, but I don't know if that's what they're trying to do with the 7 mountain mandate. How did I count that before that I got 7? It might just be subjective, or I might have been reading into it. I don't know. But anyhow. Okay. Here it is, right here. And I think, like I said, this was the 2016 event, and I think it was the call, but at this point, it doesn't really matter what conference. It was a conference of evil, okay? And now they're doing it again, and now they have him, and he's a billionaire. And he is a bot man, right? At one point, he was like big time broke in debt, and the devil went, I have got an offer. You are going to love Kanye. And Kanye went, I am a bot man. And my wife.
Hymns using words of scripture or testimony put to their own Indian music. Lately, several Christian training schools have sprung up where Indians can receive an education for Christian service.
Okay. For the sake of accuracy, it said it was like an Azusa Native American. It's really hard to read that because it's small. Let's blow it up. Native Americans at Azusa now. That's another one? Holy mackerel. See, not only have they infected the churches, right? And then sometimes these guys leave their churches. But then they go network all over the place with these conferences. And you saw the same pattern with Francis Chan. I know we're going to wrap this up here. It's just hard to break away from this. But he left his mega church so that he could go do these conferences too and whatever else he's doing to spread and disseminate the evil. Okay, so Azusa Now 2016. Now look at what they did with this.
Even education for Christian service.
And that was Billy Graham.
Now, what does Billy Graham mean by in their own music? Let's take a look. This was at one of the Awakening crusades, or one of the Awakening meetings, gatherings in 2016. When the wind of the Spirit blows, come on, warrior, and ride the wind. This is what is being awakened in the United States. Are you listening, people? And this is what Billy Graham was talking about. This is the sleeping giant. These spirits are being awakened. These ancient demonic spirits that once controlled this land. Are you listening? Before the Europeans arrived and brought Christianity, this is what was controlling this land. And Billy Graham is saying there needs to be an awakening. Are you listening? So that's what this whole thing is based on. Okay? And if you continue to watch this video, you'll see where they actually get into Indian dancing and the whole thing. I don't know if you noticed, they even had the smoke going up from the pipes. All right? It's not just Lou Engle and the NAR as far as Lou Engle, but it's also Stone is doing it as well, and Kenneth Copeland, all been working with the Indians as well. Kenneth Copeland's been working with the Indians for over 40 years. And then you have the Rick Joyner, Morning Star, Mike Bickle, the NAR, the whole movement is involved in this idea of a revival of the spirits of the Indians. Are you listening, folks? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Darkness is coming over the land. All right? That's what's happening. They call it a revival. They call it a great awakening. They liken it to Azusa Street. Okay? But these people are not even saved. They're not born again. All right? And they're bringing these spirits over the land, back to the land of America, back to the Americas, back to the United States. They're taking over. The music's taking over, the worship's taking over, and you find it more and more in these evangelical crowds. You find it more and more in this charismatic movement. It's demonic. It is demonic. It is such a mixture. But these people are not even saved. They never even experienced salvation. And they're calling it Jesus. They're calling it Christianity.
Yeah, if you back it up a little bit to where Billy Graham is talking.
Among your people, Christ is the need of the hour. The yellow man, he was an Indian, has been turned Americans to Christ.
Does anyone know what the Awaken 2020 movement is based upon?
You as Indians are a sleeping giant. You as evangelical Indians are a sleeping giant. You are now awakening. The original American could turn around and be the evangelist to win other Americans to Christ. True evangelical Christianity is the answer. By nature, the Indian is a religious person. Down in the Indian heart beats a sense for God. God has put eternity in the hearts of the whole human race, including you. It's already there, prepared by God. And living close to nature, as many Indians do, they know that the world and the universe is not man-made. Like many Europeans, the Indian has been turned off by unconcerned, indifferent Christians who seemingly did not care for the spiritual and material welfare. We must be shown that Christ died for his sins, not just for the white peoples of the world, and that Christ loves them, and that fellow Christian believers love them as well. Jesus Christ was not a white man. He was not a European. He was not a black man. He was not a yellow man. He was not a red or a brown man. He came from that part of the world that touches Asia and Africa and Europe. He belongs to all men. It must be demonstrated to the American Indian that the Spirit of Jesus Christ can live in his heart and fulfill the deepest spiritual needs of his life. I realize that there exist in the United States 56 language forms of Aboriginal languages and about 200 dialects. And to communicate the gospel to these people in their own tongue and in the Spirit of Christ is the need of the hour. In our text in Romans 13:11, the apostle says, "For now is our salvation nearer." My third point is challenging time. God is at work throughout the whole world, and it is being demonstrated that he is at work among the American Indian. Christ died for the red or the brown man as well as the white or the black or the yellow man. The very fact that you are here today is proof of the fact that God is working among your people. The Bible has been translated into many of your languages, and new translations are underway. English is only the trade language. Tribal languages are not only spoken, but I'm told that they're on the increase. And many Indians will listen more sympathetically and attentively to the gospel if spoken in their own native tongue. So God is preparing the Indian heart by giving him the Word of God in his own language. Many Indians with whom I have come in contact love to sing. The Kiowa, the Comanche, and the Seminole have composed beautiful Indian hymns using words of Scripture or testimony put to their own Indian music. Lately, several Christian training schools have sprung up where Indians can receive an education for Christian service.
Now, what does Billy Graham mean by in their own music? Let's take a look. This was at one of the Awakening crusades, or one of the Awakening meetings, gatherings in 2016.
Get it now? So last comment, and I'm not necessarily endorsing these people, I'm just really looking at a picture, and I've actually seen somebody superimpose like a planet, our planet underneath it, and like fuse that together. And I think the best way to understand this is your fake anti-bride, just like Jesus said there would be an antichrist, an imposter of Christ, a fakey fakington, a liar, to come and replace him. The best sense of all the false religions together in concert, one world united in rebellion, in self-interest of promotion of godhood. Add the AI, go ahead, add the AI into this, add the mark, add the power and the control of this cup of blood for whatever people at that point that she's going to try to scrub the earth of any vestige of what I consider to be new Christianity and what you can read about in Revelation 17 and so on and so forth. People becoming born again. We're called Christians in Acts 11. Jews that are born again, whatever. But if you can understand that as Jesus has a bride, so does the Antichrist have a bride, only she's called the whore of Babylon. She is the whore with all this rebellion. And she is in control, and you have this global government that undergirds her strength and power. And go look at noahide.org and see the governments of the world coming together underneath Noahide law at a future time period, and see how it all comes together with this Kabbalah, this Gnosticism, this idea that you're God. Right? And this woman represents humanity that has rejected Christ, but she wants to be God, and she has gone to the wrong Messiah to become this humanity 2.0 worldwide. It's not just Rome. Rome's a part of it. It's not just America. America's a part of it. It's all the countries. It's all the people. It's all the inhabitants. It's all the religious leadership. It's all the masses. It's all the NAR. It's all these people. When you see these people, these turncoats, these people that are leading the masses astray, when you see these NAR people when you see all of these liars, look at these faces of these demons. They're not actual demons. I'm just calling them that. But, and the title is in response to the behaviors that they're doing willingly, leading people astray, and that astray leads to hell. So I think that's pretty appropriate. But when you see these people and so much more, all the people involved in this stuff, the global rebellion, that is the best understanding of this symbol of this woman in rebellion to Jesus, but she is this whore of Babylon, a mate to this imposter Christ. That's what it is. That's what's going on. And she's growing. And if we're that far along and advanced in this error, her mate is probably not far off. And he's going to hurt her, and so are the 10 kings going to hurt her and burn her with fire. The people, and Satan is coming and all that. So blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much if you lasted with me through the whole thing. I really appreciate it.